Welcome to Module 1 of the Lighting Alterations video series. In this module, we will provide an overview of indoor lighting alterations in the 2016 Energy Standards. California's 2016 Building Energy Efficiency Standards took effect on January 1st, 2017. The 2016 Energy Standards focus on several key areas to improve the energy efficiency of newly constructed buildings, additions, and alterations to existing buildings. In this module, we'll cover an overview of indoor lighting alterations, the project categories for indoor lighting alterations and their scope of work, and compliance thresholds. Let's start with an overview of lighting alterations contained in the 2016 Energy Standards. Lighting alterations involve replacing any lighting component, system, or equipment regulated by the Energy Standards. This could include replacement of entire luminaires, the addition of luminaires, luminaire removal and reinstallation, luminaire relocation, retrofit of existing luminaires, and lighting wiring alterations, such as connecting luminaires to new switches, relays, or branch circuits. The 2016 Energy Standards for lighting alterations have been simplified and reorganized. Nearly all types of lighting alteration projects are regulated under the Energy Standards. Indoor lighting alterations are listed under Section 141.0B 2I through K, and outdoor requirements are listed under Section 141.0B 2L. However, three types of projects are exempt from the alteration requirements: lighting alteration projects that may disturb asbestos during construction, projects that address only two or fewer luminaires in an enclosed space, and modifications to portable luminaires or luminaires affixed to movable partitions. For this video series, we'll first look at indoor lighting alterations. Module 3 will focus on outdoor lighting alterations. Indoor lighting alterations are categorized into three different types of projects: entire luminaire alterations, luminaire component modifications, and lighting wiring alterations. Entire luminaire alterations are listed under Section 141.0B2I of the Energy Standards. The scope of work under entire luminaire alterations includes removing and reinstalling existing luminaires, removing existing luminaires and replacing them with new luminaires, adding new luminaires, and adding, removing, or replacing ceiling or walls along with any redesign of the lighting system. An example of a project that falls under this category is an office building in which each fluorescent troffer is being replaced with an LED troffer. Alternatively, an example of a project that would not be regulated under this category would be removing just the standard fluorescent lamps in the troffer and replacing them with a linear LED lamp alternative. The next type of indoor lighting alteration project is a luminaire component modification. These are listed under Section 141.0B2J. The scope of work under luminaire component modifications includes ballast or driver replacement and associated lamps, permanently changing the light source type in an existing luminaire, and any changes to an existing luminaire's optical system. Let's go back to our example project where a fluorescent lamp was replaced with an LED linear alternative, but the troffer did not change. If the project also requires that the fluorescent ballast be replaced with an LED driver along with the lamp change, it is considered a luminaire component modification under Section 141.0B2J, since we are replacing both the lamps and the ballast with new components. If the project only replaced fluorescent lamps with LED lamps and the fluorescent ballast was left in place as part of the functioning LED system, then this is not a regulated project. Lamp changes alone, or even ballast or driver changes alone, are considered maintenance and are not regulated under the Energy Standards. This brings us to the last type of project for indoor lighting alterations: lighting wiring alterations. These alterations are listed under Section 141.0B2K. The scope of work under lighting wiring alterations includes adding new lighting circuits, replacing, modifying, or relocating wiring between a switch and luminaire or a panel board and a luminaire, and replacing existing lighting control panels, panel boards, or branch circuits with new products. So back to our LED troffer upgrade example. we have replaced fluorescent lamps with LEDs, but left the fluorescent ballast in place as part of the functioning system. However, now we decide to divide the existing lighting zones from 2 to 4 zones by recircuiting the space. We also add new lighting controls for the 2 new zones. This project is now considered a lighting wiring alteration under the energy standards and is regulated under section 141.0 B2K. A project that would not be covered under this category, for example, would involve only adding new occupancy sensors in existing lighting zones. Lighting wiring alterations strictly limited to the addition of new lighting controls are exempt from the lighting wiring alteration requirements, even though they do involve wiring changes. Our last topic covers the compliance threshold for lighting alterations. For entire luminaire alterations, the compliance threshold depends on the project scope. Projects which involve removing and reinstalling 10% or more of the existing luminaires in the enclosed space must comply with entire luminaire alteration requirements. If the project involves removing and reinstalling less than 10% of the existing luminaires in the space, the alteration requirements are not applicable. Projects where 3 or more luminaires are replaced or added must comply with entire luminaire alteration requirements. If the project involves less than 3 luminaires, it's exempt, even if those luminaires constitute 10% or more of the luminaires in the enclosed space. For indoor luminaire component modifications, the threshold for compliance has been raised to allow a larger portion of maintenance projects to avoid additional lighting control and power density requirements intended for larger system retrofits. Previously, projects that addressed 40 or more luminaires in a year and 10% or more of the luminaires in a space were regulated under the standards. This threshold is now 70 or more luminaires per building floor, or for multi-tenant buildings, any single tenant space in a year. Any enclosed space where 2 or fewer luminaires are modified are exempt under this category as well. Lighting wiring alterations which involve 3 or more luminaires must comply with section 141.0 B2K. Again, enclosed spaces with 2 or fewer luminaires are exempt. When the alteration includes 10 or more luminaires that provide general lighting within a primary sidelit daylit zone or a skylit daylit zone, additional daylighting control requirements apply. And as we stated before, projects that only add lighting controls to an existing system are exempt, as are projects that affect 2 or fewer luminaires in an enclosed space. Before we end this module, let's review what we've learned. We learned that alterations refer to changes with lighting components, systems, or equipment regulated by the energy standards. Indoor lighting alterations are now categorized into 3 types of projects: entire luminaire alterations, luminaire component modifications, and lighting wiring alterations. For more information on lighting alterations, please visit the Energy Commission website at www.energy.ca.gov/Title 24/2016 standards.